So Sarah here and welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to be talking about New Year's resolutions and goals planning. So if you enjoy videos like this, I hope that you will hit the thumbs up button down below. I also do other lifestyle content, cleaning, homemaking, organizing, day in the lives, things like that. So please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like that, and let's get into it. So it is that time of year where people are starting to think about their New Year's resolutions and the things that they want to accomplish in the new year. New Year always feels like a great start. I always used to be kind of annoyed with New Year's resolutions because I always thought, well, you can start something whenever you want, which is true. But in the last year or so, I've kind of realized it does feel just fresh. It feels new, even though it's not really new. It just feels like it. Kind of the same thing with starting something on a Monday versus starting in the middle of the week. It just feels different. So I totally understand why people do New Year's resolutions. A lot of people, including myself, fail pretty quickly on with doing their New Year's resolutions and goals because they don't create them to actually be able to be completed. They'll just create something like, gonna work out more, or I want to gain this much muscle, or I just want to exercise, but not creating any sort of plan to actually achieve that. So I have started to get better at this, and even in the last year when I kind of created goals for 2021, I still didn't really do that either. So this year I'm going to be creating more attainable goals. I'm going to create steps to complete my goals. I'm going to be doing goals for my life. I'm going to be doing goals for my work, and I'm going to be doing goals for my YouTube channel. So we're going to go through this process together, and hopefully this will be helpful for you as well. So first, let's talk about actually setting the goals and how you should set them so that you can actually achieve them. So something people have learned a lot in school probably is creating a SMART goal. And SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So we're going to create SMART goals together for all the goals that we have, and to create a plan where we can actually achieve our goals. So for the S, specific. So I'm just going to write out my specific goals, exactly what I want, and just that. Okay, so now I have written down my goals. I ended up creating about 6, I think, for each category. Actually 7 for the life one. And they're kind of more overall big goals instead of kind of like daily habits. So then the next step is to make them measurable. So to do that, you basically need to somehow see the progress that you're doing, because sometimes it can be hard to feel like you're getting anything done if you can't see what is being done. So whether that is, if you want to stop biting your nails, take a picture of your nails every day that you have not bit them and see the progress of how your nails look. Or if you want to start drinking more water every day by adding in just maybe 20 ounces extra a day, track that in an app. You can track it on a journal, something like that. So being able to visually see it is really going to be able to help. So then the next step in our SMART goals is to make sure that they are achievable. Sometimes we can say things like, I'm going to work out 5 days a week, I'm going to start drinking 60 ounces of water a day, and I'm going to cut desserts out of my diet. That is way, way too much for somebody to do when you have done none of that before. Most of the time people will get too overwhelmed with that, and they're going to end up stopping altogether because it was way too much. I know people who, and I have done this in the past too, where I have tried to do something like that. I have gone all in, and then I can't achieve it. If you're planning to start eating healthier, or if you're wanting to track your food or something like that, or do Weight Watchers, whatever it is, don't go in choosing the hardest plan, the most strict diet, whatever it is, because you're not going to stick with it. You need to start with the basics, adding little things throughout time. Maybe say, I'm going to add vegetables to breakfast every day for 1 month. And then after that, you're going to add fruits in to a snack every day for the next month, until you start doing these things and you start being able to add them into your normal daily routine. That is how you're going to make these goals achievable. So the next step in the SMART goals planning is to choose goals that are relevant. So making sure that you're actually choosing this goal for a good reason, not just out of self-hate or because somebody called you a name and you just feel like you have to do this. If you think of it in the negative ways, you're just going to feel bad doing it and you're not going to be doing it for the right reasons. So make sure you're choosing goals, something that actually matters to you, something you actually want to do. Make sure you're doing it because you care about yourself, because you want to better yourself. Do it because you have a purpose for it. Do it because you have a reason to achieve it. And one thing I always say is, if you feel out of your comfort zone, then you're doing it right. Obviously, nobody wants to feel out of their comfort zone. Nobody wants to always feel out of their comfort zone. And sometimes it's okay to feel safe, and you should feel comfortable with where you are at times. But at least once per year, more than that ideally, you should feel uncomfortable with where you're at in your life, because that means that you are in a growing period. And now you shouldn't do things that are absolutely like scaring the crap out of you, like make you so anxious that you can't function, things like that. There is a point that you should stop at. But like for Robbie and I, we're wanting to move. And obviously that's scary and we're going to be uncomfortable. And when we move, we're probably going to be sad for a while because we're moving away from our friends and family. We're trying something new. We're in a place that we've never been. So it's going to be scary and it's going to be uncomfortable, but we both know that it's something we really, really want. So we have to remember that reasoning and go into it thinking like that. And then the last part of our SMART goals, the T, stands for time bound. So making sure that these goals have a timeline to complete them in. So for us, like we want to move in August of next year. What are the steps that we need to take to be able to move in August? And don't create deadlines that you're like, all right, I'm going to achieve this by January 10th. Like if you're starting on January 1st and you're going to plan to achieve something by January 10th, you better make sure that's a small goal, because 10 days isn't actually a lot of time when you also have a whole busy life and other things that you're doing. Make sure you're thinking clearly about it and be like, okay, I really may not actually be able to have this goal achieved by January 10th, but maybe by February 1st or the end of January, I can have this goal achieved and move on to the next step. And just making sure you have everything that you need to do to complete that goal, and then making it a priority in your everyday to-do list. So there's different ways that you can do things to make sure you're staying on top of your goals and making sure you're feeling good about it. If you don't feel good about what you're doing, then why are you even doing it? Like if you're doing something by choice, make sure you're doing something that you actually want to do. And then also for any of my Christian people out there, I also recently heard something where taking your goals and turning them into prayer requests. If you have a goal that you want to get a pay raise by March 1st, or for some reason you think that you might be able to get a pay raise by then, or you want to be able to work up the courage to ask for a pay raise or something like that, then ask God to help you with that, and instead of writing it down as achieve or get a pay raise by March 1st, write it down as, this is something I think that I want to achieve or something that I want to do. Lord, if it is your will, if it's in my plan that you have for me, then help me to achieve this goal. Help me to take the right steps, put the right people in my life to get to this point. Help me to have the right mindset that I need to have to achieve this. Put the right things in my path, things like that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just writing my goals out on Post-it notes so that I can put them up on my mirror and I can see them every day and see the goals that I have that I want to achieve. And then whenever I complete a goal, I'm going to move it over to the right side of the mirror so I can see all the things that I have already achieved. And then at the bottom, I just put my prayer that I wrote out so that I can say it every day when I'm getting ready and be reminded of all the good things God has done for me. So I hope that this helped you guys in your goals planning and your New Year's resolutions for 2022. Thank you guys so much for being with me throughout this past year. For the few months that I have been doing YouTube, I am really loving what I'm doing here. I'm loving the people that I'm getting to meet through comments. So if you guys have any goals that you want to share, please comment them down below. Or if you have any other tips that you would love to share, I would love to see them, and I'm sure other people would like to read them as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.